guys, it's Trina, and today I'm talking about the recent books that I've DNF'd or did not finish. I've actually DNF'd 4 books this month, and I thought that that was too many to talk about in a wrap-up, so I'm doing a separate video for them because I do want to tell you guys why I chose not to finish them, and it's not necessarily like negative things. I'm really sad about this one. It's The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner. This is a debut that came out in March. The plot summary just didn't sound appealing to me. It didn't sound like the type of book that I normally go for, and I wasn't planning on reading this one, except that it has gotten so many great reviews. But I should have listened to my first instinct, because this just is not the type of story that I am ever drawn to. And I DNF'd this one on page 193 out of... There are 369 pages in this, so I got slightly more than halfway. I mean, I really hate to give a bad review to this book because it's more of just the fact that I don't like this kind of story. We follow 3 main characters that are best friends, and they are starting their senior year of high school, and they are facing the possibility of graduating and being separated. This book is set in Tennessee, and I am from Tennessee. I'm a little bit harsher on books that are set where I'm from. The main character, Dill, is a pastor's son. His father, the pastor, is actually in jail because of child pornography. I didn't like the religious extremist stuff that was happening and the way in which the small town religion was portrayed, and I just felt like that perpetuated unhealthy stereotypes. Plus, I just didn't like these characters. I really hated Lydia. She's the one female character who we get a point of view from. She is really snooty and uptight, and she looks down on her friends so terribly. I hated this about her. I feel like maybe this is there for her to have room to grow as the story moved on past the point that I quit, but in the almost 200 pages of the book that I read, she was horrible to her friends. And when her friends confront her about, hey, you're not being so cool with us, quit, lay off, she's like, you guys have to compromise. You have to get over it, and I'm not going to change anything that I'm doing or any way that I'm treating you. And I just hated her character and how she manipulated her friends like that. And then, to top everything off, on the book jacket summary, it tells us that Dill has a crush on his best friend Lydia. That is something I did not even see happen in the book until page 170. I remember that exact page because I keep having problems with books not giving you any kind of hook for the plot until page 170, and I don't know why books are waiting so long to get into it. And to me, I just never saw anything from the first 170 pages to indicate that Dill actually had feelings for Lydia. It just didn't seem like it was actually there. Lydia, at one point, she sees Dill playing his guitar and singing, and all of a sudden she flips a switch and has a crush on him just from seeing him in this new light. And I realized I did not care. I did not care if they ended up getting together at the end of the book or if they ended up not getting together. I did not care if these 3 kids made up and retained their friendship through college or if they went their separate ways. I just did not care how this book ended. And I have a ton of other books to read, and that is why I DNF'd it. The second book that I DNF'd this month was Firsts by Laurie Elizabeth Flynn, and this book is about a girl in high school that sleeps with boys to give them an educational first time so that they can go back to their long-term girlfriends and give their girlfriends a more pleasurable first time. It's clear that this is a bad idea and that something bad is going to happen and that she's gonna have her reputation compromised. I'm pretty sure that's what the rest of the plot is going to be getting into. And I had heard some good reviews about this one, which is why I wanted to pick it up. So in this book, I read a total of 50 pages, and it is 320 pages long. And there was one line in the book that I just wasn't comfortable with, where a guy says, "I'd ask if I could touch you," and the girl says, "Never ask if you can do something, be bold." And I just didn't like that line, don't ask. I just didn't see how any of these characters would have ever thought that this was a good idea, and I understand there's so much more of this plot to be explored past where I stopped. It wasn't the topic for me, but, you know, I'm not telling you not to read it, but that's why I did not. The next book that I didn't finish this month is called Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Hague, and I read this on an ebook. I got 50% of the way through it. This is a memoir where Matt is recounting his own personal experience with a suicide attempt, and I picked this book up because I had heard a lot of booktubers mention it on their top 10 list of last year. There are a lot of textbook heavy facts and portions in this book. I didn't find it a very engaging read. It's his personal story. It doesn't need to be an engaging read. But when I got halfway through is the chapter called Reasons to Stay Alive, and they were just really like non-concrete reasons. I didn't enjoy the chapter that the book is titled after, and it's not to discredit his life story or his account with depression. It was just I wasn't personally getting anything out of it, and so I quit reading it. It's not a bad review of the book at all. I think that the book would be, you know, really accessible to people who aren't familiar with depression and who do need those facts. And the final book that I have DNF'd recently is Life and Death by Stephenie Meyer. This is the retelling version of Twilight, where she has gender swapped the main characters. So instead of Edward and Bella, it is now Edith and Beau, and I made it 226 pages in to the 387 pages. It took me 4 months to read those 226 pages, and the reason for it is because Twilight, like it or not, is a very iconic thing. It was just really hard to reimagine something that you're so familiar with because it's everywhere. People make fun of it, people love it, people hate it, but it's everywhere in pop culture, and it's just really hard to break the mental image that you're really used to. Someday I do want to go back and finish it, but right now I just got to the point where I haven't touched it since December, and I marked it as DNF on Goodreads just so that I could stop looking at it, basically. So those are the 4 things I recently DNF'd. I usually do not DNF that much. I think last year I DNF'd like a total of 1 book. I hope that it goes without saying that I'm not trying to tell anyone not to read these books. I hope that you would still read them if you're interested, and that you would make up your own mind about them. So that is that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the comments. Bye!